A very good morning to everyone. Let us recall what we have discussed in the last class. So, the definition of probability. So, we all know that probability theory is applied to the situations where uncertainty exists. It means probability tells you the likelihood of an event to happen. So, generally, probability theory was related to the mathematics. Okay. So, but don't think that it is completely related to the mathematics. Being a communication engineer, you have to know about the probability, because nowadays in every area of science and technology, in the medical field, in the research and development, almost in all the areas the probability is being used. See here, some of the examples are given: prediction of the future plans, weather forecasting, stock investments, playing games during signal transmission, predicting the risks of medical treatments. So wherever the uncertainty is there we define a probability. Probability is a numerical value between 0 to 1. It is a numerical value from 0 to 1. Okay. So here, suppose if the probability is 0, if the probability is 0, we can say that the something will never happen, or an event will never happen. If the probability is 1, the event will always happen. Then the probability is defined from 0 to 1 if the event may or may not happen. Okay. So in the signal processing, generally we know that signals are classified into two types: deterministic signals and non-deterministic signals. Deterministic signals means if the signal is expressed in the mathematical form, then that signal is called as a deterministic signal. Suppose if it is a sine wave, we have the expression for the sine wave: amplitude into sine omega t. So based on that formula, if we know the shape of the sine wave, we can, after some time, we can predict the another value for the sine wave. So there is no chance of likely or unlikely an event to occur. So for that type of signals, deterministic signals, we won't choose probability. We choose probability only for random signals. Only for random signals means if there is uncertainty in predicting the future value of the signals, then for those events or for those experiments or anything we call, for such type of events we define probability. Okay, because random signal, we cannot predict the shape of the signal or values of the signal based on the present values. So only for such type of events we prefer or we use probability. Okay. So in the last class we have discussed about set theory and different definitions of the set theory. Here one thing you have to remember: mutually exclusive sets or disjoint sets. This is very important. Everywhere in the probability you have to use this. Mutually exclusive or disjoint means the set which does not have any common element. We call it as a mutually exclusive element. Let us see an example here. Okay, so mutually exclusive. Let us consider an events A and B. Okay, so both events are not having any common element. So these two are said to be this event is not related to this event, so both are separate, both are not having any common values, so this we call it as a mutually exclusive events. If we consider this example, event A and event B are having some common part. So suppose if it is a value 4, 4 is in event A and also it is in event B, so then it is said to be a non-mutually exclusive event. For mutually exclusive events, this value does not exist. This value exists only for non-mutually exclusive events. This is one of the example. Right. So we have discussed about set theory operations, union, intersection, complement, difference, and different Venn diagrams, and the example we have seen in the last class, and different laws. Sample space means it is defined as set of all possible outcomes, all the outcomes we see in the sample space, and different types of events we have discussed. Okay, let us start from here. The today's class, let us define the mathematical expression of a probability. So let us consider an event A. Consider an event A, it is in the sample space S. The probability of an event A is defined as the ratio of number of favorable outcomes by total number of possible outcomes. When discussing about probability, the most commonly seen examples are tossing a coin, throwing a die, and also a deck of 52 cards. Okay, these are the three common examples we observe when discussing probability. So in this, let us consider tossing a coin experiment. If we toss a coin, how many outcomes we get? Either head and tail. These are the two outcomes we get. So total number of possible outcomes are 2. So in one chance we get only one outcome, that is either head or tail. So in a coin tossing experiment, probability of getting a head is 1 by 2, number of favorable outcomes by total number of possible outcomes. Next, second example, when a die is thrown. When a die is thrown, how many outcomes we get? 6 outcomes we get. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So what is the probability of getting 1 by 6? Probability of getting 2, only one chance we get 2 by 6. Probability of getting 3 by 6. In the given example here, probability of getting an odd number, how many odd numbers are there? 1, 3 and 5. So the probability of getting odd number is 3 by 6. Right. Next, let us see the axioms of probability. The three axioms are very important in probability, you have to remember, and we use these three axioms in the next coming topics. The first axiom is the probability of event A is always a non-negative real number. We know that the probability is between 0 to 1. What is 0? If probability 0 means something will never happen. Probability 1 means it is 100%, that is an event or something will always happen. Okay, if there is a chance that event will happen, that means an event may happen or may not happen, then we define the probability in between 0 to 1. It may be 0.1, 0.2, 0.5, 0.8, okay, based on the chances of happening of the event. So it is not less than 0, so it is always a non-negative real number. Next one is probability of sample space is equal to 1. Probability of sample space means we know that sample space contains all possible outcomes. Okay, it is always equal to 1. Next one, probability of a null event or impossible event is always 0. Null event means an event does not have any outcome. Null set means it does not have any value. So can we define probability for that? No. If there is any outcome, we define probability. So the probability of null event is always 0. Now the third axiom, probability of the union of n number of mutually exclusive events is equal to the sum of individual event probabilities. Here let us consider A is an event, and that A event contains n number of mutually exclusive events. Okay, n means here we define small n as 1 to capital N. Mutually exclusive events means events does not have any common element. The elements in A1 are not present in A2, and both the elements are not present in A3. Suppose if A1 contains 1 and 2, A2 contains 3 and 4, A3 contains 5 and 6. Both events are not sharing any common elements. So for n number of mutually exclusive events, if we define the probability, that we can write it as summation of n equal to 1 to n probability of an. Remember this formula, we have to use in the next coming topics. Probability of the union of n number of mutually exclusive events is equal to sum of individual event probabilities. Remember this formula. Okay, right? And these are the three important axioms we use in the probability. Next one, properties of probability. Properties, the first property is, we know that probability is always in between 0 to 1. Next one, second property is related to complement. Let us consider A is an event, and P of A means probability of happening of an event A. If the probability of not happening of an event A is P of A bar, P of A bar equal to 1 minus P of A. Next one, let us consider two events A and B. Okay, if event A is less than event B, then the probability is also less than P of A is less than P of B. Next, fourth property, P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. Remember that union means, here let us consider sum, and intersection means multiplication. Okay, so P of A union B, remember this formula, P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. For mutually exclusive events, P of A intersection B is equal to 0. Mutually exclusive means event A is not having any common element with event B. These two are called as mutually exclusive events. For mutually exclusive events, P of A intersection B is equal to 0. Okay, suppose event A is having any common element with event B, then there is some common value for events A and B. So this is not equal to 0. Okay, remember this formula. Next one, next property, P of A bar intersection B, we can write it as P of B minus P of A bar intersection B. Okay, next one, next property, suppose if a sample space contains n number of events A1, A2, A3 and so on up to n, then summation of n equal to 1 to n P of probability of an is 1, because it is in the sample space. Next, probability of null set is equal to 0. You know this. Next one, let us see some problems on these axioms of probability and based on the formula of probability. Now here, the first one, let us see this problem. If a box contains 16 balls, red balls, 12 blue balls and 22 green balls, what is the probability of drawing a ball? It is red color, either red or blue, and it is not a green ball. So how many balls are there in the box? 16 red, 12 blue and 22 green. So the total balls are 50. Probability of drawing a red color. We know that probability formula is P of A equal to number of favorable outcomes by total number of outcomes. Remember this formula. So probability of getting a red color. So how many balls are there in the box? Total balls are 50. So the chance of getting drawing a red ball is 16 red balls are there, 16 by total number of balls 50. Next, probability of getting either red or blue. Either means you have to use union. either red ball or blue ball. P of R union B equal to P of R plus P of B. Okay, if we draw a ball, that ball is either red ball or blue ball. Both are not having common element. That means we are not drawing red ball and blue ball at a time. Okay, so the event is we are drawing either red ball or either blue ball. So there is no mutually exclusive concept here. So P of R union B equal to, this value is equal to 0 here in this concept. P of R union B equal to P of R plus P of B. P of R is probability of drawing a red ball. So 16 by 50, 16 red balls are there, plus P of B, probability of getting blue ball. Blue balls are 12, plus 12 by 50. Okay, next one, probability of not getting a green ball. Not getting means we have to use complement formula here. Not getting, so P of A bar equal to 1 minus P of A. So not getting green ball means P of G bar equal to 1 minus P of G. 1 minus P of G, probability of getting a green ball. 22 green balls are there in the box. 1 minus 22 by 50. Next problem. A box contains 3 red, 4 white and 5 black balls. One ball is drawn at random. Find the probability that it is red, not black, black or white. So in total, how many balls are there in the box? 3 red, 4 white and 5 black. So 12 balls are there. Probability of drawing a ball is red. P of R equal to 3 red balls are there. 3 by total number of balls 12. 1 by 4. Next, probability of not getting black. Not getting means complement formula P of B bar equal to 1 minus P of B. 1 minus P of B is probability of drawing a black ball. Black balls are 5, so 5 by 12. Next one, probability of getting black or white. Or white, P of B plus W or B union W, you can write P of B plus P of W minus P of B intersection W. So mutually exclusive events 0. P of B. P of B is probability of drawing black 5 by 12 plus probability of drawing white, 4 are there, white balls 4 by 12. Okay. Next one, 2 dice are thrown simultaneously. Find the probability of getting 5. Suppose if one die is thrown, how many outcomes we get? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 outcomes are there. If 2 dice are thrown at a time, we get how many outcomes? 36. Okay, so these are the total outcomes when 2 dice are thrown simultaneously. Now the problem is probability of getting 5. So when 2 dice are thrown simultaneously, how many chances we get? 5. That means both dice we have to consider. 1 4, next 2 3, next 3 2 and 4 1. So other than these 4, any other value if we add, we get 5? No. So 4 chances. So the probability of getting 5 is 5 by total number of outcomes are 4. 4 in 4 chances we get 4 by 36. Okay, so this is 4 by 36. Next one. So some examples are given here. Once you go through these problems, these are the practice problems, you do it. Next, another example we see a card of a deck of 52 cards. So 52 cards are there in a deck. One of the most familiar example when discussing the probability. So out of 52 cards, 13 cards are hearts, 13 are diamonds, 13 are spades and 13 are clubs. Okay, so these 13 hearts are red in color and 13 diamonds are red in color, 13 spades are black in color and 13 clubs are black in color. Okay, so here out of these 13, A is called as ace, and from 2 to 9, how many are there? 2 to 10, 9 values are there. They are number cards, and J, Q and K, they are called as face cards. J represents Jack, Q is Queen, and K is King. Okay, so I'll show you the example. Now see here, the first one is black, we call it as spade, and the second one is heart, it is red in color, and this is black in color, spade, this is club, and this one is diamond, red in color. 13, 13, 13, 13, total 52 cards. Okay, in total 52 cards are there. Now let us discuss a problem on this concept. A card is drawn from a deck of 52 cards. Find the probability of the card is king, not king, spade, ace and spade, ace or spade. Okay, so probability of getting a king. So how many kings are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 kings are there out of 52 cards. Remember, deck contains 52 cards. So probability of getting king is P of k equal to 4 by 52. 4 kings are there. Next, probability of getting not king. Not king means use complement formula. P of k bar equal to 1 minus P of k. 1 minus, how many kings are there? 4 by 52. 1 minus 4 by 52. Okay. Next one, probability of getting spade. How many spades are there? 13 spades are there. Okay, 13 spades out of 52 cards. 13 by 52. Next, probability of getting ace and spade. Probability of getting ace and spade. So spades are 13. In that 13 spades, how many ace are there? Only one ace. So out of 52 cards, probability of getting ace and spade, both you have to consider. In spades, how many ace are there? 1. Okay, so P of A intersection S is 1 by 52, only 1. Next one, probability of getting ace or spade. Or means use this formula, P of A union S equal to P of A plus P of S minus P of A intersection S. So P of A is probability of getting ace. How many A's are there? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 by 52 plus, how many spades are there? 13 spades are there. 13 by 52 plus, minus P of A intersection S. What does it mean? P of A intersection S means, mutually exclusive events. For mutually exclusive, this value is equal to 0. For non-mutually exclusive events, non-mutually means both are having common values. For non-mutually exclusive events, this value we won't make it to 0. Probability of A intersection S. How many are there? S means spade, A means 1, only this one. Okay, only this one, that is 1 by 52. Okay, only this one, it is 1 by 52. So this is the final one. Okay, so let us stop here. In the next class we'll continue with the next coming topics. Thank you for listening to the class.